Hello once again, it's your boy That's No Moon, and I'm back with another Galactic Legend inspired video. Now, very recently I did a video which was me getting the second set of requirements for my second GL and going on from there. So I thought in this video I would sort of outline my min-max strat and the top 10 tips I can give anyone who is considering going for a Galactic Legend, whether this is you haven't got one yet or you've got one and you're thinking about going on for number 2. And if you've got 2 already, well, this is going to be teaching your grandma how to suck eggs, but it's always good to get a little refresher as well on it. But the majority of people, and this is certainly coming from a free-to-play perspective, so this is everything that I do to make sure that I'm not absolutely slaughtered when it comes to matchmaking in Grand Arena, but also keeping my sanity as well and making the game a fairly enjoyable place. So without further ado, I'm going to give you the biz nice and early. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Really does help out the channel, really does help out the video as well. And also, if you have any tips yourself, make sure to put those in the comments below so other people get to see them as well when it comes to farming Galactic Legends. Just want to say a quick thank you. The channel has done really well recently as well, so keep up the good work, and thank you all for your support. So without further ado, let's get into point number 1. And point number 1 is know your top 80 GP. Now, most people will know matchmaking when it comes to Grand Arena is going to be based 5v5, which is the most prevalent one, is going to be your top 80 character GP. When it comes to 3v3, it's going to be more like 65, but I can go into my roster and I can go and sort out by power. Now, power, this is the only metric. Doesn't care about Zetas, doesn't care about Galactic Legends, doesn't care about anything. All it is your top 80 characters. So I've already worked out with my 80th GP character is now Stormtrooper Han. So that little number in the bottom and in the middle is 19,171. Now, I've unlocked 2 requirements for 2 Galactic Legends, so I have plenty of people at Gear 13 now, and I have a fairly sizable top 80. Now, when I'm thinking about going for a third one, and this also works back, so when you've got 1 and you're going to 2 as well, or even if you've got none, this is going to help you as well. Now, when we first have a look at the requirements that are needed on Star Wars Galaxy Heroes GG, it can be incredibly overwhelming, and it is almost impossible to collect up that amount of gear without losing track and things like that, or without having to spreadsheet it and bore you to death, basically. So what we're going to do, and the reason that I find this so useful is because it gives you workable characters in the meantime. So that magic number that I had there, 19,171, when I have a look at my Resistance faction, well, I'm going to be working on Resistance Hero Poe, Resistance Hero Finn, because I can quite substantially upgrade these guys without encroaching too much on my top 80 GP. Same with Amelin Holdo. She's going to be able to, I'm going to get good use out of the Radus as well and upgrade her things. So in terms of that, when I have a look at it, let's say, for example, BB-8, I'm probably not going to touch him. His, updating his or taking him to Gear 13 will have a little bit of a knock-on effect on my top 85 GP. So knowing your top 80 is also, and by doing this, it's also going to make that list on StarWarsGalaxyHeroes.gg a whole lot more manageable. So rather than coming, as I said before, all the way from downtown, it's more like from the free throw line, and you're able to then collect up the pieces that are a lot easier to collect up as well. Little known fact about the Secret Happiness. Secret Happiness is actually progress, and when you first start off with anything, let's say a hobby, let's say you're playing golf, hockey, football, whatever it is, you're going to start off rollerblading, for example. You're going to start off increasing your progress, and you're going to get better at it quite quickly. Now, this gives us a tremendous feel-good factor because we're improving, and whatever it is in life, whether you've got a promotion in work or whatever, progress is the secret to happiness. So we need to keep things progressing, otherwise things get really stale. And when you reach that plateau, you don't want to be there for long, in all honesty. But as I said, by doing this and by upgrading everyone up to that magic number on your top 80th, you will not really have a big issue with it. Now, in terms of if I can't do that, if I haven't got a GL and my top 8 is quite low, let's say, for example, I'm going for Kylo, what I'll probably do is go into my first order faction and I'll pick a few key characters to get to relics. And what I might mean by that is, well, I might want Kylo Ren unmasked at relic level 1 or 2, because when it comes down to it, the people you're going to be facing at that level, this is a very tough team to get through, a Kylo Ren unmasked, and it could even win you a Grand Arena. Same as Kylo Ren OG, Sith Trooper, Hux, First Order Executioner. The rest, I'm not too bothered about. I'm not going to race to get them up to relics nice and early, things like that. Now, that was probably the longest point, and we'll go on to point number 2 in a second. But what I would say is this will also save your sanity. You will be able to apply some gear pieces. You will feel like you're getting the progress, and you're not absolutely trashing your matchmaking as well. Now, point number 2 is be involved in at least one of the arenas. So whether this is Squad Arena, if you've got a Galactic Legend already, this may be a little bit easier. If you haven't, head straight over to the ships. And this one is going to be much more manageable. Let's put it this way. We have got the same meta that has been ongoing. Ignore my rank because that I'll come on to that in a second. But if you don't have a GL, absolutely want to be going for this ship arena each and every day because of, and I know some, there are some shard mafias and they are incredibly hard to get into. Just do as well as you can. And the reason that I don't is because I can't balance this and my real life as well by doing both Squad Arena and Fleet Arena as well. So you've also got to play within your means as well. If you feel that again you're stretching yourself too far, it's taking an impact on your everyday life, you need to take a step back. But as I said, you need to be looking at placing well in ships. If you haven't, or if you're not able to, let's put it this way. There was a guy in my Shard Arena, in the Squad Arena. He was ranked number 20, no GL. He just had a Darth Vader and some supporting cast as well at Relics. You're able to do all right, even without a Galactic Legend. And I bet he beats them each and every time. Being able to play, practice those free-to-play counters, that's what's going to make the difference with matchmaking as well. Point number 3. Be salvage smart. So when it comes to, now this one might be a very obvious one to a lot of people, but when it comes to converting salvage, what you want to be doing instead of, let's say for example, the most common one is going to be, or the most common mistake for a lot of people was these Herodium heat sinks and converting those rather than those full pieces. What I want to be doing each and every time is going in and converting one of these to change up in there because it's going to give me more bang for my buck. So rather than, let's say for example, out of 20 of those I get 200, I'm going to be getting 500 from it. So again, huge difference there in terms of doing that. If you are struggling, so after you unleash a horde for a Galactic Legend, you will be running pretty low on this first one. If you do need to replenish that as well, make sure to, so this one here, this one will be a little bit of pinch point after each and every Galactic Legend that you unlock. If you do need to, light side, if you've got a light side GL and you're farming the tickets, again, make sure to go and hit that one because it's going to give you the most bang for your buck in terms of more so these being able to change that back into relics as well. So that's pretty important, is being relic smart. And as I said, make sure you have access to a spreadsheet or to a graphic. I'll flash one up as well, and it's in the Discord server. In the description below, I do have it pinned there as well, because that's incredibly important as well. Number 4, time things right. Now, shard farming, when it comes to shard farming, when you're farming these shards, etc., what I would do is refresh these at least once a day. And out of quite a few sims, so 10 sims, you're going to be getting around about 3 to 5 shards for a character a day. That has changed a little bit when it comes to the older characters where you're getting 2 shards. But again, time this right. So if you've got 100 shards left to go, where you go, right, okay, well, I'm going to set myself a target of 33 days, for example, worst case scenario, of getting all my ducks in a row and getting all the gear that I need ready, because that's when my shards are going to be ready and the other characters are going to be ready to go to 7-star. As I said, on these characters that you still need, make sure to be refreshing that once a day. 25 crystals is nothing. And also with the relic mats, be aware of this as well. Now, relic mats are one of the longest things that it takes to actually be able to get out. Now, with these, you're going to be getting, so from 3 refreshes a day, and that goes back to the point of placing well in arena, because this allows me now to buy 3 of these a day, which is also increasing my relic mat generation. Now, when it comes to these, what I want to be doing is going with these ones, if I refresh 3 times a day, it's going to be around about 40 or 50 that I get of these ones. It cuts it down to about 25 a day, and then the last ones, which are the hardest, is around about 10 to 15 a day. So again, factor that into your time calculation as well if you're trying to get everything into a row as well. And the ideal time to lock in and unleash everything, so it's not going to come, is the end of, or right at the start of week 4, when you've locked in for Grand Arena. That's when you want to be upgrading anything, because you basically get a 2-week block to farm up all the tickets and be able to go as well, and unlock him in between the Grand Arena, so you're not left without a Galactic Legend as well. Number 5, look out for pinch points. Now, pinch points, what I'm on about these is scout these off a long way. And on that gear list that I talked about earlier, this is going to be a very common thread. Stuff like this Mark 12 Fusion Furnace. So you also want to be using some of your get currency to get you over the line with this. And also, this is pretty cheap to do it with, so make sure that you're refreshing with these. As I said, whether you want to refresh or not, or just use your normal energy, depending on where you are with your ships, etc., and your normal farms. Again, I would highly recommend looking for pinch points and looking for what's going to hold you back as well, because if you can get ahead of these nice and early, it's going to save you a whole heap of time when it does actually come to it. Don't forget also that you need your gear for that Galactic Legend as well afterwards. So it's no good having, let's say, for example, a Gear 8, Galactic Legend that you can't actually gear up into relics, and the same with the salvage as well. Number 6. Now, to help with this gear crunch, what I would say is when you get to a certain point, let's say around about 80 or 100 Zetas, you've got all the key Zetas on the characters. The rest tend to be a little bit more luxurious. Forget the Zetas. Go over to the ship store, got to be careful saying that quickly, and start converting these into shard shop currency. This shard shop is where you're going to find a lot of things that are going to be providing those pinch points. So being able to buy from them here, I would absolutely say make sure to convert your ship currency into shard shop currency as well, because that's going to help a huge deal when it comes to farming for the gear as well. So again, whether you do or whether you don't, you've got to make a judgment call of, do you have the right Zetas? Do I really need to apply a Zeta here? Or can I just save it and, I've got my 6 ready for the Galactic Legend to go? Or am I going to be converting my currency into the shard shop currency, which is probably more valuable for me at this point, but you need to make a judgment call on that as well. Number 7, place well in at least the heroic Sith raid. And this, again, having a good foundation, having some good tiers, good teams that can do okay damage, that can get you into the top 10 of the heroic Sith triumphant raid, is going to save you a huge amount of time as well. Because when you're getting if you're placing in the top 10, you're going to have access to full, again, it doesn't often happen, but it can happen. You're going to have full access to full pieces of gear dropping, as well as their salvage as well. A lot of the time this has expedited the farm for me by making a conscious effort of placing top 10 in this one. So again, make sure that you're working on teams, or you have at least one team that can get you into the top 10 of the heroic Sith raid as well. And this is also ongoing, because even after you've got a Galactic Legend, you still it's still good practice to be placing top 10, whether it's every raid or every other raid, however your guild does it. It doesn't really matter. You need to have that foundation of being able to generate gear as well passively. Number 8, don't forget your foundation. So going on to the foundation, it is no good in terms of having a Galactic Legend and then getting absolutely trashed each and every round because you haven't developed 5.0 First, or Darth Revan, or Jedi Knight Revan, or Padme, or Geos, or whatever it is. There's a lot of teams that you do need to have a good foundation is, because there's nothing worse than you setting your Galactic Legend on defense and then your opponent comes along and trashes it and you can't get through one of their squads because they've set a tough defense. So again, don't forget your foundation, and it is your judgment call as to when you want to go, but there is going to be a lot of things that I think have to be in place before you should absolutely commit to that farm for the Galactic Legend, in my opinion. Again, fight me in the comments for it as well. But I think building a good foundation and some good, solid key teams is going to be one of the most important things as well. Number 9 is going to be mods. So in terms of mods, this is always ongoing. In this game, you can never have too many good mods, and you also need to be scouting a little bit away of what mods your Galactic Legend needs. So, for example, you want to be looking at, okay, how do I want to run my Kylo? Do I want to run it with offense, or do I want to run it with speed? Or how, what's the best mod set that I can get for Jedi Master Luke? And you also need to be having a look at, because again, if you don't have those mods in place already, you need to be buying these from here and from the Shard shop as well. Because let's say, for example, you're starting from scratch, you're going to need 6 mods that you're going to take up to 6E as well. And this is kind of one of the big things as well with mods. Going back to point number 9 about mod, well, no, actually, don't forget your foundation, point number 8. By having a good foundation, you're also able to generate better mod slicing materials in galactic challenges, etc. But yeah, mods are the absolute difference between someone's hard counter going in and failing. And mods continue to be king of this game. So do not neglect your mods at any point. Again, if you have plenty of this energy, make sure you are farming mods as well. That is one of the most important things. Speed mods still king, offense mods, crit chance, again when you get a little bit later on, crit damage when you get a little bit later on as well. Again, and also by being able to do the assault battles, etc., you're going to have access to more mods or more drops, things like that. So don't forget your mods. That is probably the biggest piece of advice in this one as well. Now, number 10, post GL. So when you've got all those requirements as well, what's my best piece of advice here? Well, number 1 is going to be, let's say, for example, here, when I'm looking at the Jedi Master Luke, let's say, for example, I've done tier number 1 and I'm now going on to tier number 2, but rather than, because there will be certain stages, so scout these ahead, which ones you're going to need to remod for. I know that tier number 2, I'm going to have to remod a few characters. So instead of just going in each and every time remodding my characters, I'm going to wait till I get to 120 tickets, remod them once, do the event 4 times in a row, and it's going to save me remodding a bunch of times. And also I'm going to be in the groove of that event as well. So in terms of that, have a look at what events are going to be the tough ones and where you're going to need to remod, and then do them as well. Also, when you finally get there and when you've done the ultimate, you also want to max your ticket. So for example, when I've got 10 ultimates, or 9 ultimates rather, I'm going to absolutely fill this to 144. It's going to take off whatever it is that it costs me, and I've also got a head start on tickets when I go for my next light side GL, if that makes sense. Same with dark side. Rather than apply that ultimate straight away there and then, I'm going to take an extra day to farm a few more tickets to get to the max, and then apply that last one. Because it's going to give me a huge head start on my next GL, and it's going to make unlocking it a hell of a lot quicker. As always, that's my 10 top points. If I have forgotten anything, if you feel that there's anything that you do that helps you get through Galactic Legend farming, please let me know in the comments below. If you do need access to any of the resources, or you do want to chat more Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, the link for the Discord is in the description below. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Hopefully this helps a little bit, and hopefully this gives you a little bit of an idea of what you need to be doing in terms of min-maxing your strategies as well, and some helpful tips, because I haven't really seen it covered, so I thought I would do that one tonight for you. I've been That So Moon. As I say, hit that like and subscribe if you've enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Cheers, guys.